Today we're going to talk about my top 5 guitar-related podcasts. Welcome back to Man the Helm. My name is Jake. If you guys don't know, I also run a small podcast called Man the Helm. It's music-based, but it's more about taking charge of your life and driving in the direction you want it to go. But today we're going to talk about 5 of my favorite podcasts. Now these are in no particular order. These are just 5 that I really enjoy listening to. Number 1, this is kind of a new one, and it's not really a guitar-based podcast, but it's one of my favorite musicians ever. Justin Hawkins Rides Again. It gives you a deep dive into how Justin, perceives the experiences that he's had. It's really eye-opening. It's really refreshing to see somebody just being so open and honest about their own experiences and being, a musician at his level. It's so super rad. Number 2, the Get Offset podcast, hosted by Emily Harris and Joan of Hart, both of which have actually been on my podcast. Super awesome people, a totally different perspective than most podcasts that I've listened to. I really enjoy listening to it just for that different sort of perspective. Now you get the gear, but you also get some cultural stuff, which is really cool in the music industry that I don't see a whole lot of people. They don't stray away from the uncomfortable subjects. I really, really enjoy that. Number 3, the 40 Watt podcast, hosted by Mr. Philip Carter. I actually got the opportunity to be on Philip's podcast, and he's been on mine as well. He's a super awesome guy, down to earth, one of the nicest people I've ever got the opportunity to hang out with. He really deep dives into gear a lot, but it's also more about the how and why, which is what I really connect with. The gear is cool and all, but I want to know why people do the things they do, and Philip really does a good job at interviewing guests as to why they started doing stuff. It's really awesome. Number 4, the Tonemob. Now this is one of the first guitar podcasts that I ever started listening to, not too long ago, only a couple of years ago. So I'm kind of late to the game on it. Blake Wyland, the host of the Tonemob podcast, has been at this since about 2015. And it's super awesome because he was a guy that's just like everybody else, working that 9 to 5 and just kind of sick of it. And he wanted to, as he likes to put it, shoehorn his way into the music industry, and he has been killing it since 2015. It's an awesome podcast, gear related, but also the stories of some of the people he gets. It's really, really relatable. And number 5, last but certainly not least, probably my go-to podcast is Chasing Tone, hosted by Brian Wampler, which all of you know if you've been following the channel or the podcast or anywhere else that I'm at. I'm a huge Wampler fan, so it's so awesome to see and listen to Brian, Richard, Oliver, and Blake Wyland kind of all sit down. And it's more of like that sitting down, hanging out sort of vibe, and kind of goofy and a lot of jokes and stuff like that, while also covering the gear that is related for that week or anything going on in the music world. It's a great podcast, and it's one of those that I like to sit and just kind of hang out. So if you would like to check out any of these podcasts, I will have them all linked down below. If you guys are new to the channel here too as well, I would really appreciate if you guys hit the subscribe button, like, comment, let me know what your favorite gear related or music related podcast is, and I'll be sure to check it out as well. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We'll check you on the next video.